Hey, what's going on everyone? Hawks21 here, back with another Splinterlands video. So here's video number 2 of the day. If you haven't watched video number 1, I highly suggest you go back. We reviewed the fire and the water new reward cards that just came out today, or didn't come out today. They were revealed today, the new soulbound reward cards. I also announced that throughout today, I'm going to be releasing 3 videos. And in these videos, there is a scavenger hunt. I am giving away 15 Chaos Legion packs. Each video is going to have its own separate challenges and things you need to complete. You need to watch the videos to see them. Some of them are time sensitive, some aren't. So if you missed the video 1 tasks, maybe you want to go back and watch the video. Maybe you want to watch these ones first to see the tasks that I put out here. Can't help you. You got to figure it out for yourself. It's all for fun, and we'll see who wins the prizes. With that in mind, let's start this one with the first giveaway of video number 2. So, giveaway number 1 of video number 2. At some point in one of the 3 videos today, I'm going to call a card my favorite. I may have said it in the first video, I may say it in this one, or I might say it in the last one. You don't know which video I'm going to call a card my favorite in. The first person to comment on this video, this one right here, which card I said was my favorite, will win a pack. One random person who completes this task will win a pack as well. Now, important, if I said it in the first one, or if I say it in the third one, you still need to comment on this video. Okay, that's important. If I say it in this one, it'll be easy for you to remember, but we'll have to see which one I say it in. You must include your IGN to be eligible, and you must be subscribed to the YouTube channel. All right, let's get into the cards itself. We are going to cover Earth and Life, and then the last one we'll do Death, Dragon, and Neutral. Okay, starting us off with the commons, we have the Fungus Flinger. Another example of the Martyr ability. Has Blind too, which is one of the best, sort of support abilities in my opinion. This is a pretty cool card. I want my Martyr cards to be really low mana and to have really low health. Because as I talked about before, I want any opportunity monster to target this card because I want the Martyr ability to trigger. So again, I'm going to play this in between cards. I want to get that boost. I'm going to try to get this card targeted. I would play this right from the start, to be honest, because it's such a low stakes to get it into the game, just 3 mana. And it fits in with what I want to do, which is have it die right away. So if I could uniquely position this card in between, think about a blast rule set, for example. You play Grund in the first position, you play this one in the second position, just knowing that it's going to die. Then all of a sudden your Grund gets faster, your Grund picks up another attack, your Grund gets more health. It's just a really good use case for that. This is going to be a card, again, right from the beginning I would play this card. If I had 1 copy, there are instances where I just want to utilize the Martyr ability, and 3 mana would potentially be worth that to me. Picking up the Blind helps. And then this card almost becomes a standalone good card here once it gets the 2 attack with the 3 mana. Specifically with Fernheart, right? It could attack from the front too, so it just gets that extra synergy. This is a nice card. It's a good card. I think that's been a common thing. I think a lot of these cards are well balanced. The other one we have is the Terrasis. Get it? Terrasis Grunt. Right off the bat, this card's pretty meh to me. I mean, it's a defensive tank with an okay attack, right? Having a tank, let's see when they get these abilities. So it starts with Void. So, I mean, again, if you're going up against Obsidian, if you're going up against these Earth Magic teams, combining Void, with the Goblin Psychic Silence can be very, very helpful. So, this card's going to be useful. For me, I would like it with the return fire. I think once it gets to like 3 attack is when I'm like, okay, I could see myself. So I would never build a lineup where this was going to be my main. I would treat this almost like a defensive tank, right? For 6 mana, you're getting a lot actually. But it's just the attack for a tank isn't that great. So to me, I'm treating this like a defensive tank. But it can be solid. Very, very solid. All right, next. So this is a card I think is really cool. The Madcap Magus. So for a couple reasons. The low mana Earth teams with Mylor can be really, really annoying. Or even with Obsidian, because a lot of times you're attacking the failed summoner. And that can be really, really frustrating when you bring magic attacks. Giving this the Scattershot ability, now with Obsidian, right? Let's talk about reverse speed too. At the highest levels, you're talking, or I guess even here in silver, you're talking 3 attack, which is great. Oh, it has Life Leech right from the start too. This card right here is kind of funny, 1/1/1. You're really going to want to pick up the Life Leech. But anything with Life Leech and Scattershot, I really like these combinations together because, again, a lot of people's Voids, a lot of people's Magic Reflects and stuff like that are going to be on their tank in the front position. It's less often so, a card in the 4th position is going to have Magic Reflect. It can happen, but it's just less likely than in the 1st position. So I think its ability to leech some life is heightened by the fact that it has Scattershot. Again, once it gets the 2, I'm excited. And then Affliction's amazing, right? There's so much healing in these low mana Earth teams. There's so much triage between Queen Mycelia, Spirit Hoarder, Princess Chimer. They all have triage, and it can just be really annoying to go up against them. So if you're sending Afflictions randomly to the back line with Scattershot, that's a good way to combat this. Not to mention Dispel, too. Dispel's really great because there's a lot of boosts that are given in those lineups. So, whether it be the Protect from Queen Mycelia or whatever it is, it's a lot of things to potentially Dispel. So I'm a big fan of this card. I'm excited. And it obviously, it synergizes really well with Obsidian. And now we have the Summoner. So -1 speed and Conscript. So what I will say is right now for me specifically, well, I guess here's the thing. The Earth Gladius cards have Quera. The best Gladiator card. I feel like I just have to show you. Right here. Quora, Power Shed. This card is sick. So any card in which I get to play this card is good, right? This is a card where, this was a situation where even if it only had Conscript, I would want this card and play it from time to time just to get Quora out on the battlefield. So adding in the -1 speed as is just beneficial. But it's not something that's on its own is crazy. But it just happens to have, I guess, another one that I love is the Double Strike Sneak. Where is it? Here. So if I can bring this to the table and reduce the speed of my opponent, the Epic card actually is going to synergize really well with this one too. Then I would want to do that. So I would say this Summoner benefits. Where'd it go? This Summoner benefits mainly from having 2 really strong Gladiator cards that I want to play. As a standalone, the -1 speed is good. Any speed reduction, any speed manipulation is good. It's just tough to say. There's not a lot of times where I'm like, ooh, I really need to reduce my opponent's speed by 1. And I want to do that through my Summoner. But I think this is going to get a lot of play just based on how powerful the Gladiator cards are with it. So I mentioned that Double Strike Sneak Gladiator card. that's going to synergize really, really well with the Epic card here. Again, no attack, but you see the Inspire. Before I get all into this card, and speaking of Epic cards, let's move on to our next thing. And so, I mentioned in the first video, I was going to give you a prompt in this video. And here is that prompt. Which one of the new Epic reward cards, and you can pick across any Splinter, so I haven't covered every single Splinter yet. But if you've gone in and you've seen the cards, you can include whatever you want. Which one of the new Epic reward cards, the new Epic no attack reward cards, is your favorite and why? You have to tell me why with a maximum of 3 sentences. Don't forget, you have to go back to the first video to comment your answer. Again, I'm trying to make it a little bit challenging. So you have to go back. If you comment that here, it won't count. The 2 best answers will win. Best answers based on my opinion. And to be eligible, you must be subscribed to the YouTube channel. All right, so there is the prompt that I promised you from the first video. If you don't know what I'm talking about, this one's not time sensitive, so I would go back and watch the first video. Now, let's talk about Thane. Thane is sick. I really, 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 really like this card. So, it looks like it's going to start with the Inspire, which is great. Yeah, it does. You know, this kind of reminds me of a slightly different version of the old card, Brownie. Reminds me a little bit of that Death card that has Inspire plus Strengthen. Giving this Inspire right away is pretty cool. So I'm just imagining a situation, right? We have the Double Strike Sneak monster that I just talked about. So you bring the Conscript, you bring this, and then you bring the Double Strike Gladiator, and you're just going to boost that. That's a pretty sick combination. Dragon, we also have the Dampir Infiltrator, which has double attack sneak. You give that, you play Dragon with Earth, you play this card, you bring the Inspire, you boost that up. That's a pretty nice combination. And the charge gets better and better as you go up. Picks up the strength, and so right away I'm playing this card. 100%. This is an awesome card right from the jump. Strength is great. It gets really good once we're talking about swiftness too. Make everyone a little faster. But the highest level is where this card becomes amazing. We're bringing another tank heal to Earth. So there's going to be a ton. This card is just like the most amazing support card, right? It's only 4 mana too. That's the other thing. You're getting all of these support abilities for just 4 mana. Awesome, awesome card. As we're going to see, you now have the chance to give this one an attack too, so it can get even better. Let's check out what the weapons training card for Earth is going to be. We have a ranged one for the first time. So, you're going to be able to give Thane a ranged attack. We don't know how much, but you're going to be able to give it a ranged attack. So let's talk about Ava the Undaunted. Some weird ability combinations, to be honest. You know, this seems like a reverse speed card for me. Weapons training has me excited. You know, I want to play this card with weapons training for sure. Specifically with Thane. I'm going to be playing Thane in most of my battles. So yeah. Shatter's nice. You know, these other stuff I could do without. The Oppress works. Like, I don't mind the Oppress. This is a pretty meh card in my opinion. Better in reverse speed. I'm excited to test out the weapons training because, again, I'm going to be bringing Thane a lot, but I'm wondering how big of a difference, you know, if you give it 2 ranged, that will even make, right? I'm going to bring Thane with or without giving it 2 ranged, so I'm curious if that's going to be worth playing a card that I think is pretty meh as is, but we'll see. The Oppress is cool at the highest level, as I think I said. You know, if that works, it works great. If you're expecting like a Bakjir or something like that, you're hitting it for 8. Then we have the Tenacious Hulk. It's a taunt, so now we have a double modern taunt. You could technically bring 3 taunts in modern now, because we have the neutral taunt in the Lurker, we have the Tenacious Hulk, and then we have the Slip Spawn. So you could naturally bring 3 taunts in modern Earth. Pretty crazy. This card reminds me a little bit of like a souped up version of the, what is it? It's the Mycelic Infantry, I think. Is that it? It's Chaos, Earth, Rare. Yeah, Mycelic Infantry, where it's very slow, has a good attack, has the shield ability, has a lot of armor. Same thing, this is just kind of a souped up version. Give it the taunt. I mean, this is an amazing card to play in melee only, obviously, because it also brings the Demoralize. It reminds me a little bit of the Harclaw in that fashion. You know, again, right from the jump, there's going to be contexts in which you want to bring this card. Melee only, no magic. It's going to be a really, really difficult card to get through with melee attacks or ranged. Obviously, picking up attack, good. If you toss reverse speed in that too, it gets even better. This is going to be, I think, a really, really powerful niche card. It's tough because there's a ton of magic in Earth. You know, but now we're talking about adding other summoner options, whether it be Fernheart, or, you know, the new Gladius, or the new summoner with Conscript. Or actually, now that I think about it, Immortalis, right? You're going to give this card Void. So now you're going to have a card with shield ability and Void if you combine it with Immortalis. So that's going to be a pretty sick combination. Wow. That just hit me a little bit there. Cool card. I'm excited to try this one. All right, time to move on to life. But before we start talking about that, it is time for giveaway number 2. This one is only for my Bird Gang members. So if you head over to the Discord, for those of you who aren't, if you can join Bird Gang now until this ends, and be eligible for this contest. So if you come to my Discord, the link is in the description of this video. You will see Hawk's Nest. It looks like this. I have a membership channel, which is all down here. I think we almost have like 40 members at this point. The support has been incredible. I do think I bring a lot of value, which I will cover a little bit later. But this one's just for the members. I want to reward them for supporting me. And again, if you want to become a member and participate in this part of the scavenger hunt, you are more than welcome to. Don't know exactly when I'll cut this one, but you know, you can join as soon as you see this video and participate. So, Bird Gang members, tell me your least favorite card in the Nest, which, if you don't know, is our members chat right here, the Nest. Tell me your least favorite card and why in exactly 10 words. So you can include a picture and then give me 10 words why it's your least favorite card. My favorite response will win the pack. And there's a caveat. Hewitt, who's been a member almost right from the beginning, one of my most active members, contributes so much to the community. He hates Bakjira. Absolutely hates Bakjira. He can only pick Bakjira if he writes 3 full paragraphs on why he hates it. Which he can do. I do not doubt that he can do that. He doesn't get 10 words. And by the way, I said exactly 10 words. That's not 8, that's not 9, that's not 11, that's not 12. Exactly 10. I'm going to police that very, very hard. But Hewitt, on the other hand, needs to give me 3 paragraphs on why he hates Bakjira. This would be too easy for him. I need to make it a little bit more challenging. He can pick a different card and do the 10 words, but Hewitt needs to write 3 full paragraphs if he wants to use Bakjira. Okay, let's get back to this, and we'll have one more giveaway instructions before the video is over. So for life, Imperial Knight. So this to me kind of looks like a card that, you know, I play Lux a lot with life, and this can give me some of the benefits of Wraith while allowing me to just play Lux. Right? Having Wraith sort of takes away a lot of the synergy here. It's good magic defense card. You know, nothing too crazy. Has Void Armor to start. Good in reverse speed. You know, I'm not super interested in this card, to be honest, until we're talking all the way up here, maybe. Even then, you know, this isn't a card that sort of jumps off the page at me. 7 mana, so it's not that expensive. I could see myself using this actually. 16 with the Void armor and only 7 mana. This is a lot of, stuff to get through for that cost. So, we'll see. It's not like a crazy card where I'm like, oh my goodness, this card needs to be nerfed. Definitely not. I don't think it's super overpowered. I think it'll be a fine card that will have its use. Next we have the Drybone Barbarian. Just seeing this. I've sort of glimpsed at a lot of these, but I haven't taken them all fully in yet. This card looks fun. So only 9, so it's not susceptible to Giant Killer. It doesn't have any defensive abilities, so this is just straight attack. So this is an instance where I'm going to want to play a taunt in the back line and have this be up front. It has the Enrage and it has the Retaliate. So you can put some crazy damage out there. But again, it's kind of, it's pretty easy to work through. It actually picks up the Enrage right away. So that's interesting. You're going to be able to get this card Enraged right away at bronze. I'm not too interested in it until we start talking about the Retaliate, because that's when you can sort of start multiplying the damage. And honestly, down here, I'm more interested in it in reverse speed. Just because when it gets Enraged, if you don't bring any other speed manipulations, it's only going to get to a 3 speed. So it's, it doesn't even get that fast. Retaliate makes it more interesting because, again, then you're talking about you could hit for 8 if it's Enraged, get hit, and then hit for 8 again on a Retaliate. So that's when you can sort of like win a match with this card. Level 8 is when it starts to get really interesting for me when it picks up that speed, because now we're talking about it getting to 6 speed. Don't really care about the knockout, as I've talked about, but then, top level getting 6. Now you're talking about a 9 damage card, 6 speed. This will be fun. You're not going to want it to be the focus of the attack. So obviously, like Super Sneak or things like that, this will be a great card. But you're not going to want to just stick it up front unless, there's something distracting your opponent from targeting it. Just because, it's not that fast. It can get pretty fast, especially if you bring some speed, but it'll be pretty easy to get through. On to the rares. First, we have the War Pegasus. Thus far, I would say life is a little underwhelming compared to some of the other ones. We just look at this from the top. 7 mana for decent speed. Flying is nice. I'll always take flying, and it gets flying right away. Shatter right away is really nice. Shatter in life in particular is a really nice ability. Just because there's so many cards with so much shield. Like right now we have to deal with the shield bearer plays. But there's just a lot of tanks in life that have a ton of shield. So bringing that shatter ability right away is nice. The 3 attack definitely makes it more interesting to me. But it's really top level is when I start to get really excited about this card. And not even really excited. It's okay. The Demoralize is nice. It adds something to the table. Has good health. Pretty fast. You could put it as a... I'm probably going to put this in the very last position to cover some sneak, too. The sneak card in life that has Life Leech, the Stitch Leech, could have a hard time hitting this if you bring some speed boosts. So this card will get some run out of me, but it's kind of just like a general play card. You're not like running a specific strategy, I don't think, around this card, but I guess we'll see. Now we have to talk about the Summoner, Franz Ruffman. So this is a good one. So the thing for me is we have a lot of summoners that bring a shield, right? Wraith brings a shield. Lux brings a shield. You can play with life. The old summoner actually brings a shield that you can play with life. It's a good ability. So I could see me playing this over, there are times where you don't want to play Wraith for whatever reason. You're not expecting magic or whatever it is. So if you don't really want Wraith's other abilities, you could toss this in and have access to a Gladiator card. I think this will get an okay amount of run as a standalone summoner. I think the Fire one in particular is my favorite thus far with the -2. I talked about how I'm probably not going to use water that much. unless there's a specific water card I want to play. Earth's going to get some play just because, you know, as I talked about, there's some pretty insane Earth Gladiator cards. This is probably my second one that I would pick this one just to bring a shield, right? If I'm deciding between this and Sloan, I'm probably going to pick this one unless it's very specific use case. Just +1 shield to me often is going to be better than +1 archery. And then the ability to bring a gladiator card is just a bonus. Nothing too crazy there. Let's get into the epics. Evelyn Avera. This card looks sick. So right off the bat, life gets played a lot in poison. So you're talking about a card that's going to be able to survive poison. And I keep talking about how there's so much shield. Also going to bring repair. And inspire. Wow. This is a very, very fun card. So it starts with repair. So another repair that you're going to get right away from level 1. To be honest, this card only gets interesting to me once it has the immunity. I mean, I guess we'll wait to see what the weapons training thing is. But once, I take that back actually. There's going to be times where, you know, you're no magic. I could see playing this. With Wraith, actually, now that I think about it, because you're going to have Void Armor, the repair is going to be nice. I take that back. I was wrong. The repair on this card, plus, you know, you're going to bring Void Armor for itself, right? Starting it with 8, actually, when you give it... I was very wrong on this card. I'm actually very excited about this card. Level 1, even, you bring this with Wraith, it's going to have 9 shield that's voided, and it's going to repair. So you play this in whatever position, it's going to repair it. It's going to act as an off tank when it moves to the front. And then, you know, it's going to get thorns, which will make it a little more useful. It's really good in immunity when it gets immunity, because then I'm playing it in basically every poison rule set. And I already play life a ton. And then obviously adding an inspire is sick. This is a great card. Great. I was underwhelmed at first, and as I thought about it and looked at it more, this is a really, really, really awesome card. Let's take a look at the weapons training card that it's going to get to pair up with it. It is a magic, so you could potentially give Evelyn some sort of magic attack from Ave Sturgis. This looks like a very interesting looking owl. So Aves, what do you got for me? It's going to be weapons training to start, obviously. So right from the beginning, yeah, see, for me, I need the camo, right? I don't want this. If I'm going to bring it for the weapons training, I also need the camo. Now the 3 magic makes it even better. Reverse speed I like. And then life, there's a ton of rust. I mean, there's a ton of shield. So rust is a huge, huge, huge ability to add. So yeah, I like this card. I think it starts at level 2. 3rd magic's great. This is going to be a good, nice support card. Reverse speed, it's going to be nice. You're going to give Evelyn some magic damage, which is going to be sweet, because with the repair, right, that's a card you want sitting in the back. You want Evelyn to be alive for a bit. So if Evelyn's also going to be attacking, and then plus, when you give this to camouflage with the weapons training, once this card gets eliminated, it loses the weapons training ability. So Evelyn doesn't keep its attack if this card's eliminated. So having this have camouflage means it can't be targeted, as you guys know. So Evelyn's going to have attack for, you know, that much longer. So good card. Now, last card of this video, but before we get into it, let's also talk about the last giveaway. So this is also going to be a Discord giveaway, but this is for anyone. You just have to come into my Discord. You come here, you'll notice on the left, I just created this today. I have something called Go Celtics. Anyone can type in here. I just created this. No one's ever talked in here because I'm going to delete it after the purpose of this. But the first person, I'm a huge Boston Celtics fan. I think I've talked about that before. I'm a big NBA fan. I talk about it in my So Rare videos. Specifically, a massive Boston Celtics fan. You need to comment, and everyone only gets one shot at this. My favorite current Celtics player, so someone who's currently on the Celtics, as well as my favorite Celtics player growing up. I'll give you a hint that that player is retired, not a current player. So here's my current Celtics player, and then my favorite Celtics player growing up. This one's going to be a little tricky, and this is the fun one for this one, because you don't really know how old I am. So you don't know what era I'm even talking about. So it'll be curious to see what the guesses are. Who here knows basketball? Who here is going to go back and do research? I wouldn't be surprised if no one ended up getting this right, just because you have to get both right. But I'll be very, very impressed if someone does. The first person to gets it right will win. If not, I might give this away in a different fashion. But obviously, you need to join the Discord. You only get one guess, and you must include your IGN with the guess. All right, let's talk about the last life card. Izzy R. Can't really pronounce a lot of these names. Ooh, so we have a really high mana martyr card. That's interesting. With a taunt. Ooh. So we have another magic taunt. So this is a really cool card for magic only. Or sorry, well actually magic only is a new ability that's coming in, a new rule set. But if you're, no melee, no range, when you're expecting magic, this is a really cool card to play because it's gonna have the void, has the taunt, and it's gonna have the magic reflect with martyr. So giving a taunt martyr is pretty cool because it's going to be targeted. Now it's going to take a while to get through it, most likely, just because of how much health it has. And presumably you want to play it when you're expecting magic because it has the magic defense. But you could line this up between any two cards you wanted, just knowing that it's going to get targeted because it has the taunt. So that'll give you a lot of optionality when you're playing this card. So pretty cool. Let's see how it looks. Right from the start, I'm going to play this card in certain contexts. When I'm expecting magic, I will play this card. Just because, it has the void. It's not one of those situations where it has magic defense and a different type of attack. So, you know what I mean? It's like magic. A lot of cards sometimes will have like range defense and magic attack. And so when there's context of no magic, when you're expecting ranged attacks, you can't play that card because it has magic attack. So it's eliminated. But for this one, if there's no range and you're expecting magic, if there's no melee and you're expecting magic, you're going to be able to still play this card. Pick up the martyr ability second, so that's really cool. Again, I'm excited to put this right in between whatever two monsters I specifically want to get the boost, knowing this is what the target's going to be. So a taunt with martyr is a really good combination. Then obviously magic reflect makes it better. Third magic makes it better. This is a really cool card. I don't think it's OP, but I think it's going to be a really great use of martyr. You're going to be able to very strategically use martyr with this card. All right, so that finished up the Earth and Life. The third video I released today will be Death, Dragon, and Neutral. Just to recap what we talked about for the giveaways thus far, at some point in one of the three videos, I'm going to call a card my favorite. I may have said it in the first one. I may say it in this one. I might say it in the last one. Did I say it in this one? Do you remember? I don't. You'll have to figure that one out. First person to comment on this video wins, and then one random person who does it on this video wins as well. Must include your IGN, must be subscribed. Here's the prompt, which was something to do with the first video and one of those scavenger hunt tasks right here. Giveaway number 2 was just for Bird Gang. Tell me your favorite card in the nest, which is our private chat, and why it's your least favorite card in exactly 10 words. Now, as a reminder, you could join Bird Gang right now and be eligible for this prize. And then giveaway number 3, in the special Discord, or the special channel in my Discord, you need to comment my favorite current Boston Celtics player, as well as my favorite Celtics player growing up. The first person to do that wins a pack. Must include your IGN, and you only get one guess. All right, that was video number 2. We have some pieces of the puzzle that could be fit together. We have some challenges that could be won. you got to stay for video number 3, which will be coming out shortly after this one. See the whole picture. Good luck to everyone who's trying to do these scavenger hunts. I know some of these are a lot. I know some of these some people probably won't think it's worth it to participate, but I hope those are having a little bit of fun with it. Just something I wanted to add in. Stay tuned for the 3rd video. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon.